everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk. I am your host, author Dre Lett. Thank you for joining me for another fun-filled week of great stuff to come. Happy New Year! Yay! We made it. We made it. We made it. 2020 is gone. It's out of here. Boom. We're in 2021 and I am so ecstatic about it. I don't know about you guys, but 2020 was a crazy year, a crazy year. So it's all done. We've got great things to come. I do know that in 19 days, we're going to have a great leadership. Things will get better. I'm optimistic about the future. So, welcome to Happy New Year Friday on Let's Talk. So, thank you so much for joining me for another fun-filled week of fun and exciting things. So, you guys, in a couple of minutes, I've got a special guest coming on tonight. He is entertainer, comedian Jerome. Jerome is a dynamically energetic stand-up comedian with a splash of song, dance, and impressions. He's appeared on several television networks such as NBC, CBS, A&E, and Comedy Central. And he's also appeared in a movie with Eddie Murphy. Yes. He was born in Jamaica, Queens, but grew up in Oakland, California. He'll be on the show in just a few minutes. So that's what we've got coming up for tonight. So you guys want to make sure you tune in. I want to tell you guys, as you know, every week you can view my shows on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram under the name of Let's Talk with author Dre Lett. And on Instagram, it's just Dre Lett. So take a look and check me out. Make sure you share, hit like, and subscribe. So also, I tell you guys, if you ever want to take a look at the books, they are on my website. And they are being displayed down there on the ticker tape there. You can go to detailproduct.net and there you'll see all my books and a bio about me and the whole nine yards. So I am so excited about tonight. I am excited to have my live audience with me every week, or they tune in with me. I hope you guys had a really good Christmas. I had a fun, relaxing Christmas. It was a little different because, you know, we couldn't have everyone over like we normally do, but it was a good Christmas. So I want to take a look and see who's on from my live studio audience. Make sure you guys check in with me, please, and put the city and state that you are representing. So I see here my cousin who's faithful watch every week. I love you, cousin Diana from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm so excited to have her watching with me. I know hubby is on, and I just want to say happy birthday, baby. His birthday is Sunday. Turn up, turn up. So we're going to celebrate his birthday in a pandemic way. We're going to make sure we are safe. So happy birthday to him. I love you. He's one of my producers, one of my huge supporters. So I love you and I'm so excited for you. And we bringing in 2021 in a great way with positive attitudes, right? The whole nine. So who else is checking in on here? Hi, mommy in love from Las Vegas, Nevada as well. Yes. I see my buddy from Michigan, Mr. Carter. What's up? What's up? and the rest of you come on in the room or come in the virtual room if you will of Let's Talk. I appreciate you guys so much. So let's get into hot topics. Oh my goodness. So I was looking online and I was looking at all the news feeds and trying to come up with some good, interesting things. And I didn't have to look very hard because some of the hot topics was just right out at you. But first off, I want to share with you guys my New Year's resolution. My New Year's resolution is going to be, you know, as you are kind of in the house and during the pandemic, the movie theaters are open, some are not, but if they're open, do you really want to go and sit in them? I don't. But anyways, so I watch a lot of movies at home and I'm always kind of going to that same genre, that same type of movie, that same type of actor. And it's getting kind of old. So my New Year's resolution is to open my mind and try and watch new movies, new TV programs, something different, something outside of the norm to just try to, you know, just open my mind to different things. So that's one of my New Year's resolutions. And in doing that, it'll give me a different perspective of how people look at things differently. So I'm looking forward to that. So you guys put in comments, you know, what your New Year's resolution is. I see my daughter. I love you. put what your New Year's resolution is. So I'm curious to see what you guys, every year we always say, oh, we're going to lose weight. We're going to change our diet. We're going to work out more, that kind of thing. I didn't make that one my New Year's resolution because that's something I should be striving to do every day anyways, right? So you guys tell me, what are you guys going to be doing? I know one thing that should be some people's New Year's resolution should be wear your mask. Yes, wear your mask. I know. I'm tired of saying it, and people are trying to. I get it. We're all tired, but we want to live, right? So I went to the grocery store last week, and I was in there. I should actually do a video, the Chronicles of Dre Lett in the grocery store, because you see some of the craziest things. But anyways, I was in line. I was in self checkout. The little machine, you do it yourself. You rake it type of thing or scan it. And I'm in there, and this lady, she's standing behind me, an older lady. She's on the phone, and she's just running her mouth on the cell phone, holding her items. And all I could envision was just that virus going right out her mouth. I was like, no, no, no. I finished doing what I was doing, and I just got up out of there. I was like, this is crazy. So when I got home, I was, venting to my husband, telling him that I just thought that was the most craziest thing. It's insensitive. So if you guys, for those of you that don't believe in masks, please just for a moment, just think about this. Think about if somebody would just randomly go out in public in the store or the mall or wherever and just hurt and harm or kill innocent people that you don't even know, right? So if you don't wear a mask, maybe you've got the sniffles, maybe you sneeze, maybe you have a light cough, maybe it's not that bad for you, right? But the person that you go around with and you don't have their mask, you don't have your mask on, but they do, their chances of catching is that much higher, right? So how would you feel if you infected someone and they died or they were severely sick? That would be horrible, right? But you're saying, oh, I don't care, it don't affect me. But yeah, but what about the other people that that you could infect? So I know somebody in particular, they're just coming out of a coma and they've got to learn how to walk again because the person that gave it to them in their bodies, it was just a cold. So that just infuriates me. It almost makes you want to just say, okay, those of you walking around without masks and getting people sick, maybe you should be brought up on charges. I don't know. What do you guys think? I just think it's just crazy. We're what? Since March, we've been at this. Come on, it's not that hard. Just wear a mask. How would God look at it? At some point, we're all going to die. At some point, we're going to all be judged in front of God. How would God look at it? He'd be like, oh, yeah, you were just walking around here without a mask. You didn't care, right? So just take that in consideration. And for those of you that are wearing your mask, thank you, thank you, thank you. That means a lot. And I'm sure the people that are who've been infected or trying to recover appreciates it. So it's just a hot topic. I mean, it's a hot topic for me and it's very sensitive. So the other thing I want to mention to you guys before I bring my guests on is the Nashville bomber. Oh my goodness. When I read this, I was just like, no way, no way. This is not real, right? Okay. So this guy, his name is Anthony Quinn Warner. He is a 63-year-old from Antioch, Tennessee. And I'm reading this word for word per the article. That's just how blown away I am. So I want to make sure I get this right so you guys really truly can hear this. Um, he is from Antioch, Tennessee. He died when his recreational vehicle exploded on 2nd Avenue North, damaging more than 40 buildings and injuring at least 8 people. He spent time hunting for aliens and was interested in lizard people, according to ABC News. He believed that shape shifting lizard creatures take on human form in an attempt at world domination. Yeah, I said it. He lizard aliens, right? Okay. He was also motivated to target the Nashville AT&T building over fears of 5G cellular technology and his paranoid suspicions that it is killing people and being used to spy on Americans. Can you believe that? That is crazy. So he's thinking that aliens are lizards and they're taking on a human form and they're going to take over the world. I don't know, you guys. Mental illness is real. It is real. When I read that, I just could not believe it. And shout out to the police officers, Nashville APD. We always hear about the bad things police do. Those particular police officers in Nashville, they heard the recording coming from the RV. They quickly got everybody evacuated in time. So they are heroes. Thank you, sir. sirs and ma'ams, for all that you did to make sure everybody was safe. So let's give them a big shout out because that's big. If they had not evacuated the area, God only knows what could have happened. So I just read that and I said, wow, this is crazy. So you guys, if you see somebody that ain't right in the head doing some craziness, report them, please. Report them. That's just bananas. I don't know. So what are you guys thinking? What are some of your New Year's resolutions? What are you guys trying to do? Bring in the new year? Are you going to try some new diets? What are you guys doing? I'm gonna take a look here at comments and here to see what you guys are saying. I know me, like I said, I want to try something different, watch some different kind of movies. I know somebody was telling me to watch a new one on Netflix. Well, I better not say the name, but it's a different type of series. So I said, oh, I'm going to try it. I'm going to have an open mind and try it. That's one of my New Year's resolutions. And of course, to constantly be good and nice to others and stay on that diet and work out. What are you guys going to be doing in the new year? Just want to know what you guys are thinking. Yes, somebody said working on a man cave. Okay. I hear you. I hear you. Okay, so with that, I'm going to bring up some footage to share with you guys about my guest. He'll be on in a minute. Just want to share with you guys. What he's doing, what he's done in the past. He's been around for a while. He's very good at his craft. Like I said earlier, he's an entertainer and a comedian. So let me just introduce him formally before I show you his video. And let me just double check something real quick right here. Okay. So formally, my special guest, his name is Jerome, and that's capital J, little e, all caps Rome. That's the way that he represents his name and everything that he does. He is a Los Angeles based entertainer who has primarily worked as a stand up comedian for more than 20 years. After doing college talent shows, he was bitten by the showbiz bug and pursued it as a career upon graduating from North Carolina Central University. He's performed live worldwide at clubs, casinos, colleges, corporate and political events, cruise ships, USO military shows, and has even opened for legendary comedian Richard Pryor. That's awesome. So, with further ado, I'm going to show his video before I bring him on. Let me just share my screen so you guys can see this awesome video. I thought he was hilarious. And okay, so we're going to start this bad boy for you guys. And there he is.
Bring nothing on the plane now, right? They grip the gun up. Lady, put the lotion down. Step away from the cologne, sir. The security, I know you need some security, but man, keep asking some same stupid questions, man. And you give them a smart answer, you get arrested or something, so you gotta go ahead. It's the same one they always ask us. Has any of your bags been out of your control? No, these two bags here by my side, these bags are well behaved. They ain't moved an inch. Did you pack your bags yourself? You know, if I could afford to have somebody pack my bags for me, I wouldn't be flying Southwest for a pack of people. Southwest, that's one ghetto airline, ain't it? Come on. They got a new slogan, Southwest Airlines, where everybody's third class. Talking about cutback, they didn't give you peanuts no more, they give you peanut spray. Oh, you're in our freaking fly program, you get 2 sprays. I took a flight from Southwest from LA to Houston. We had to stop and get gas before we finished the trip. If I didn't have my debit card, we'd have never made it. And what's that last dumb security question they always ask us? Has any unknown person given you a package to board the plane with? Oh, you must be talking about this brown duct tape box. Yeah, the one with the dynamite and lit fuse behind it. That ain't mine. But some guy, I think his name's Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden. The third said I should bring it to his grandfather. He had 4 women with him too. Did the women say anything? Yeah, they kept going. And I think that meant they were trying to get that peanut butter sprayed off the roof of their mouth. And then you gotta walk through the metal detector. Ever go off on you when you walk through the metal detector? Because you just walking. You're like, oh, my cell phone. I got to take out my cell phone. My watch. All right, you take them all, put them in the dog dish. Go through a second time. If it goes on the second time, you cannot go through a third time. Nope. Now you gotta scan these little chalk footprints they got on the floor. Like it's a murder scene on CSI or something. Somebody got killed standing up. Let's outline the body. You gotta spread your arms out like you're playing about to get on, and then what happens next? Some pervert comes by and fills you up with this magic wand. Ain't that embarrassing, man? You stand there. Hey! Everybody looking at your stuff. You know you ain't packing a gun, you can't help but feel weird. People look at you, and then all saying, why should we feel weird, man? They're the ones doing the wanding. Why don't we do something to freak them out? Next time you gotta get wound up, even if it's on the ship, man, you come back, they gotta want good, just act like we enjoying it. No, I do that just to see what's on their face. They don't have to just go, oh yeah. Oh yeah, one big. Right on the kneecap, just like I like it. You know my spot. Security gate 33K. Security gate 33K.
Oh my goodness. So that is Jerome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to bring him on in the room and so he can come on in and talk with us and tell us what it's like to be in show business. He is hilarious. The thing of it is that he does cruise ships, he does everything, and he does some Michael Jackson impersonations as well. So he is hilarious. I was watching all his stuff, and I wish I could show all of it to you guys, but you guys make sure you look him up, Jerome. So just waiting on him to connect, make sure there's no technical difficulties. But as we wait, what were some of you guys' New Year's resolutions? Let me look and see what we're saying here. Yeah, you guys were laughing. Oh my goodness, I see my boy Mike is on here. Hey, what's up? That's awesome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you so much. What are some of you guys' New Year's resolutions? I'm curious to see. Do anybody have any crazy things out there? That they're gonna make as their New Year's resolution. Of course, we're in the pandemic, so we're very limited. There he is. He's coming on. So we are very limited. So let me bring him on into our virtual stage, everybody.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry about that. I forgot to scroll down and enter.
What?
The screen said the host will let you in. So I'm waiting to be let in. So look, I don't see you. But, okay, I'm supposed to hit the enter button. Sorry.
It's okay.
I'm a little behind the times and all this. And sorry about the lighting. I know half of my face is dark and half is light or whatever, but I got to get some better lights the next time.
You're good. You're all good. We got live viewers checking us out. They just got done watching your video, and people were loving it, laughing.
Good. How y'all doing? It's funny that Well, how you doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, well, thank you for coming. I appreciate you so
This
much.
is the best show on the planet. Better than TV, better than the movies, better than the internet show. It's the Let's Show. And I'm glad you let me on it. We should
Oh,
see how many lets we can have with play on the word let.
Let.
I
I
know
know.
it's perfect to call it Let's Talk because
Let's
it's
talk.
three
Yeah.
let. That's perfect. So how many lets can you have? You remember Lynn? If anybody follows basketball, there's a Lynn Sanity when Lynn, the guy Jeremy Lin, was a basketball player, a Chinese dude, was really good, and he was having a really good week.
Uh-huh.
So they had everything was related to Lynn this. So everything should be related to let. So let's go.
Let's go. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. You know, during these rough times, we need someone like yourself to lift our spirits and keep us going. You staying safe out there in LA? I heard it's pretty bad out there with all the cases and.
Yeah, well, you know, folks out here they feel free to do whatever they want, and I'm sheltering in place.
I know that.
And my neighbors are basically sheltered in place. Well, my one next door neighbor, he kind of goes around and runs to get something to eat and bounces around. He's taking his chances, but no, it's sheltered in place. But there's a certain amount of people that don't care. They're stacked together, and there's all these secret COVID parties that people are having. And not wearing masks, and they shut the clubs down. But it was one guy was on the radio talking about there was a club that he went to was in out here in Southern Cal where people didn't have masks. They were getting drunk. They were all over top each other. I guess people think they're immune until they get. Ooh, I don't feel so good. Is it hot in here to you? No, it ain't hot to me. You must have the Rona. Get away from him. And it's crazy because when you go out, they. The news will say how bad it is, but I don't see it. It's not like I'm walking down the street and people are dropping. I only go to the grocery store, and it's funny because you see people coming at you, and then they'll cross the street. And it used to be because I was black, but now I say, "Whoa, you crossing because I'm black?" And they're like, "No, because of the coronavirus, and you're black too." So, but I can imagine this could be a dilemma for some white folks. They're walking down the street. And if there's a white guy coming to him, do I let this white guy come to me he's got no mask? Does he come towards me with no mask? I stay on this side of the street or across the street with this black guy with a mask.
Oh my gosh.
We're okay. And
okay.
I think so, but it's funny because my hospital, I talked to my doctor and he says, man, we're like are not overwhelmed. Matter of fact, we got to have half staff because people are not going in for the regular procedures. They're not going in there and getting their checkups, their blood work, their mammograms, and that kind of stuff because they're scared. I'm getting corona. So they're not coming in for those procedures, and those procedures are a lot of the way the hospitals make money. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I'm just staying in place. It's I'm not taking the chances. Some things might be exaggerated on what happens because you got a 99.998% chance of dying from it, but you might be that 0.002 case. I'm like, I'm good.
I know, right? Just stay.
Even meeting people. Nobody's been in my house since March, and I have been over nobody's house. Mm-hmm. I handed out presents to my neighbor at the door. Matter of fact, I threw it at him. You open your window, and I'll throw it through your window. Here's your hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
So, and then, what do you go? I didn't do any family gatherings. You hold your breath and hug your relatives. Ooh. How you doing, Grandma? It's like,
and if somebody gets sick or die in your family, it's like you did it. Oh no!
Yeah, you gave them the Rona.
Oh my gosh!
They're low hanging fruit. They was going to drop anyway. Go ahead. Sorry, I can ramble for hours.
No, you good. You good.
People in the audience like, would you shut up? She's trying to ask you another question. And it's Jerome, dude. Capital J, small E, capital R-O-M-E. Jerome, whatever that means. It's like Paris, Jamaica. Jerome keeps blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you are hilarious. No.
Did I say Happy New Year?
Huh?
Did I say Happy New Year?
No. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
We made it. 2020.
That's right.
Oh.
2020. We're going to have that clear vision to look. We don't need to have clear vision to look back on 2020. It's just look straight ahead.
Exactly.
Fun in 21.
Exactly. Okay, so here's a controversial question I ask all my guests ever since the vaccine has come out. Are you getting the vaccine?
You know it. I am a sir. Yeah. Vax to the max. Shoot me up. What's the alternative? Being paranoid, if you're gonna get the Rona, because I ain't gonna lie to you, I go out and I'm annoyed. I go to the grocery store. If somebody sneezes, it's like incoming, hit the deck. Everybody's diving under tables, swan dive. You know, this dude. I was at the 99-cent store. No shame in my game. I don't care what nobody. You get some deals at the 99-cent store. They even sell name brand organic food at the 99-cent store. But you better be a heck of fast because half of that stuff is expired. But no, I was at the 99-cent store. This dude sneezed. And I just left that aisle, went to the other side of the store, and waited about 4 minutes for them droplets to hit the ground. And I try to do it to not embarrass the dude, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm microwaving my mail. It's crazy. I get my groceries. You know, I got alcohol wipes if you can find them now. You know, right. I'm able to get some. I wipe off all my groceries and alcohol, and the non-perishables I put in the garage for 4 days.
Yeah.
Come back, and the rats are like, "You got some more of this?" No, but yeah. And so I'd rather get the vaccine. I take it that they're okay. It's vetted. So I take I get the flu vaccine all the time anyway, every year. You know, so I'm not afraid of it. So I'll get it, and if there's a few side effects, I'd rather take the side effects of that than worrying about being paranoid and getting this thing. So I think everybody should get if you don't get the vaccine, just stay home and stay sheltered in place till 2050.
Woo!
The rest of us will be out having fun.
Do it. I'm an outgoing person, and sitting in the house is killing me. But the way I look at it is get the vaccine, and you still can catch the virus, but
it's not 100%.
You're not gonna be in a coma. So hey, shoot me up. I'm like you. When we were kids, we got chicken pox, measles, we got all those vaccines. Yeah. So, and I'm watching, right? I'm watching to see how everybody's doing as we go forward. If somebody turned into a zombie, then I'm good. But
this is a zombie apocalypse.
No. So yeah, I'm definitely good. But I'm sure my viewers want to know. We got live people watching. So I ask everybody this question. I just want to know, so how did you get your start, and what made you decide a career in show business? Tell us about that.
It's funny because my mother always thought I would get into show business.
Okay.
I was joking around the house and singing and different things like that. But, I didn't think of it as a career. I went to college. Well, first of all, tell you a little bit about my background. Boom, boom.
Background.
Born in Jamaica, Queens, New York.
Okay.
Which is the hood. Same hood. LL Cool J, 50 Cent, all of them. It's the Jamaica, Queens. It's one of the most black places you could ever be in Jamaica, Queens. I hadn't been there in a long time. I visited my father. I was away for 20 years. I came out and said, man, there's a lot of black people in Jamaica. I forgot how many black people. He said, yeah. Because you go to the bank, everybody's black. You go to the stores, grocery store, everybody's black. Everybody's black. You go to the mall, black. You look at the cars, there's black, and there's some Puerto Ricans as well, and there's some Asians around, but it's mainly black. It's very, very black area coming up. And then, at the time, there was 70s, there were gangs kicking up there in New York, and it's funny because me and my friends, we started a little gang, because there was gang. The top popular gang was the Seven Crowns.
Okay.
Named after the Seven Crown, that liquor. And then the Black Spades. They were the popular ones in New York, And so we said, we're going to call ourselves the Chucks, like the Noon Chucks, like Bruce Lee, the karate sticks. Karate sticks, but they're Noon Chucks. We call ourselves the Chucks. So we said, yeah, we're going to have a gang. So our little block had a little gang. So we say, we weren't doing nothing, but, eating popcorn or whatever, potato chips, eating some now ladies. That was the candy. And then they heard, yo, the Seven Crowns going to come on that block and test us. What you told them? They're going to come in the block and we're going to fight. Or we can meet them at the park, because you live down the park from this park called Baisley Park. You meet them at the park, we're going to rumble. I'm like, I think we'll be out of this gang this week.
That's right.
But there was some crime kicking in. So to get away from crime, when I was 10 years old, my mother moved to Oakland, California.
Yes, the best.
So there's no crime in Oakland, of course. No. But one hood to the next. And so, I went to Oakland High, graduated from Oakland High. Well, I guess there's a little bit of, not that I'm starstruck, but I did go to junior high with a cat that became very famous.
Who?
It was MC Hammer.
Yes.
We were the same basketball team, right?
Wow.
And I remember going away to college and stuff, and then this cat was the Hammer, and I heard some of the records, And I was like, okay, this dude is bad. And then I looked at the magazine one time. This newspaper comes out with this entertainment side of the section, and on the cover was Stanley. It's Stanley Grell. You know, I'm like, I called him, yo, it's the Hammer Stanley. Is it Hammer Stanley? And they're like, oh, you didn't know? Yeah, man, he started doing all the dancing stuff out of high school, dude. I'm like, man, if I'd have known that, I'd stay friends with him, you know.
Wow.
But no, I went to college in North Carolina Central University.
Okay. HBCU.
HBCU, Eagle Funk. Because we're the NCCU Eagles. Maroon and gray is our colors. The sloping hills of verdant green, the lovely blossoms future sheen surround our college proud and gay. We wave our colors maroon and gray. Part of our theme song. But so while I was in college, I was in, you know, the choir, and it was an awesome choir because we sang everything. I mean, everything from gospel. We're going up and yonder.
Oh, yeah.
Going up and yonder to be with my Lord.
Oh.
Yeah, we would do from that to Ave Maria. We sang it all, man. And then so that was fun doing that. And then one time we had a show called the Eagles Night Live. And this was taken after Saturday Night Live. But we're the NCCU Eagles, or NCCU or Central Eagles. And so we had an Eagles Night Live. So we had a show one time, and we had all these singers. We were trying to look for some variety, but nobody was doing no comedy. Nobody was doing no magic. Nobody was doing no juggling. Everybody was singing. So look, we got to have some variety. So I said, look, I can remember some jokes. Maybe I'll be a comedian. So I said, man, I don't have, you know, jokes. I just remember some jokes, but you know, I got to have some fresh stuff. I said, well, I can't. At the time, there's a comedian named Richard Pryor that was very popular. And you know, some people in the audience know him. If you're very young, you might not know Richard Pryor, but he's arguably one of the best to ever handle a microphone stand up. So Google him. And so I said, I can't do his stuff because everybody gonna know it's Richard Pryor. So I did some old Cosby stuff. I said maybe they won't know this, and some old Red Fox comic stuff. And George Carlin was another comic that I said we probably won't know them. That's not their generation, so they might not know this. So I put together some stuff and wrote some jokes about some, you know, fraternities and sororities, and threw it out there, and it went pretty good. And people said, hey, man, I think you can probably do this. I said, all right. So I started going to some open mics around town and started doing, you know, getting a few laughs here and there. And I said, all right, maybe I'll do this. And I graduated in business. Well, I started out in political science because I wanted to be a civil rights leader.
Oh.
I'll be a civil rights leader. I want to lead the people, power to the people. And then, you know, so what you gonna major in? I said, I'm a major in civil rights. And my cousin's like, nah, you got to major in something else. You just can't say I'm a leader and get a degree in civil rights. You know, in Martin Luther King diploma. You know, so political science. You learn politics. Okay. And then one of the things we had to do in political science during my junior year was write a report on your career possibilities with a poli-sci or political science degree. And after I did that research, I said, ain't too many jobs available unless you got some kind of hookup. I think I'll switch my major. So bam, I went to business and computer and information systems. Okay. After that, I started working. I worked for my mother has got a consulting firm. So I worked for her, and she had a few nonprofit organizations. One was called Beta, Black Adults Black Americans Training for Adulthood. Okay. You take the youth and you get them ready for life and that kind of thing. That was one of her organizations. And she also had a consulting firm where she would teach multicultural education to law enforcement, to school systems and that kind of thing. So I was working as administrator for her. And then I was also doing some work with, I was running a couple of offices for the municipal, I can't say that 3 times fast. You can't even say it once. Municipal motorcycle officers of California, doing fundraisers for them and the fire department, and doing those fundraisers for them, telemarketing. Oh, I was doing that during the day and some of the evening, and that night I was going to the comedy clubs right there, Oakland and San Francisco, hitting the comedy clubs, the same comedy club. Robin Williams would pop in.
Mm.
And it was Holy See was one of the first clubs I played. And Jeffries was another one in Oakland. And I started getting some chops and started building up some time and started getting some work. So I said, maybe I can do this as a career. And then I ran my own telemarketing company where I was the boss. My goal was to have this company run itself and have the employees do it. And then I'd get on the road to comedy, have these 2 salaries. But I could get a lot of employees in San Francisco because back then there was no internet all over the place. You had to put an ad in the paper. Mm-hmm. But in Oakland, I could only get 6, 7 at a time, sometimes 12. But to make a really good profit, you need to have 10 or 12 people on those phones. And if it was 5 or 6, you're breaking even. So after a certain promotion, and once I got enough work as a comic, I said, once I get enough work, if I can book 6 months up, I know I can work for the rest of my career. So once I booked 6 months up after the last promotion of that telemarketing, boom, I just went on the road, and I've been doing that ever since.
Wow.
And here I am. Bam. On the Let's Show.
That's awesome. You know, it's funny how your life can go one way and then it goes this way. So I totally can relate to that, coming out of corporate America and doing this, which is what I really truly love. So I totally understand, you know, how that is. So what made you how did you get to cruise ships? How did you link up?
I was doing the comedy clubs all over the country and doing USO shows all over the world, Tokyo, Korea, you name it, Mexico, Canada. I was all over the place doing shows. But this one comedy club manager says, "Hey man, you ever think about doing cruise ships?" I said, "Nah, but I'm open." He says, "All right, let me get your package, man. I'll send it to some people." So he gave it to some folks, and they says, "Oh, you can start doing some ships." So I started doing the cruise ships, and it was cool because it's almost cooler than doing the Let's Show, but not quite as cool. But the thing is, like, you could do these shows, and all you gotta do is dress from the waist up on the internet. On the ships, one thing is similar to this because you can come out of your room and be on the air on the Let's Show. And so on the ships, you can come out of your room and go up a few floors, and you're right at the thing. You don't have to get in the car. You don't have to travel that day, and all that. So that was convenient. And the audiences were very good, and you get all the food you can eat. So I was like, this is cool. So I started doing that, and then I started doing that almost exclusively. And I stopped, like I did a few TV things and a couple of little spots. But, once I realized I don't really care so much about being large and famous and all that. So, this making a living is good. So I was able to get a house, and I have that rental property, and that's another type of an income. So I've been doing the ships, and the ships were a lot of fun. And I used to do the Big Red boats. I did Princess. I did Norwegian. And the Big Red boats went out of business. And then Premier Cruise Lines. And then Carnival has a system where they can fly you in and out just for a couple of days at a time, where the other ships you'd be on for the whole cruise or a few cruises. Carnival, you can do a couple of days. They fly you into Aruba, fly you out of Jamaica, have you here, you fly all the way to Miami, you get on the ship, and then you get off in Grand Cayman. They fly you back home. They take care of all the transportation. You could be 2 days, and you'll get paid for like the whole week. And that was perfect. So they would keep a steady schedule. So I liked doing that ship, doing that cruise line. So I started doing a lot of that, and it was very steady for more than 20 years until the zombie apocalypse knocked that all to a halt.
So tell me one of your worst experiences with the cruise ship and the entertainment and all. Just, have you ever had any bad experiences?
I never had anybody die on stage.
No.
People do die. They have a morgue.
Are you serious?
Yeah, people are always shocked when they say, "Are you serious?" I'm like, well, because people die in regular life. It doesn't change you on this cruise ship. Well, once you're on a cruise ship, you are immortal. You will live forever. As long as you stay on this boat. As soon as you step off, you could have a heart attack. But as long as you're on the ship, no, because there's a certain amount of people, depending on their health, and there's some ships, some cruise lines you get on. I was on a Princess ship one time, and I think the baby of the cruise was 95. There was walkers lined up at the showroom.
Oh.
I mean, it was like, everybody was 100. So people pop off. And
Oh.
if it's a real big ship, they have a morgue. And I was on some of these little small ships. I was on a ship called Dolphin Cruise Lines.
Okay.
And they didn't have a morgue. They just, if somebody died, you just throw them in there with the ice cream. Somehow this ice cream reminds me of Uncle Morton. I wonder why. Have you seen him? I haven't seen him since the first day of the cruise. No, they put you in that ice. Well, that's where it's cold, and until we dock, and then this happened to a friend of mine. A friend of mine named Kenny Smiles. God rest his soul. He's no longer with us. He was a comedian that would pick on the audience. His main gig was picking on the audience, and he was very good at it. He was this English guy from Wales, and he had this big gray beard, and he was about in his 70s, so he can get away with it. He could talk about them old folks, and boom, 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 because he's old. He had the accent, so he can get away. Wherever your name was, whatever your name was, he had a joke. Wherever you were from, he had a joke. And then he would pick somebody out in the audience and make him the zombie. Look at this guy. He's not laughing at nothing. Are you having a good time? Well, tell your face. This is a zombie. He's a zombie. Look at this zombie here, everybody. And they would joke with him, the guy that's a zombie that was a stone face. And then he would do that in the beginning of the cruise. At the end of the cruise, we would do another show. It's a farewell show. And so he would pick out his character. He had one guy that can't dress, one woman that's the pretty woman, and another one. This guy must be a pimp. And these guys, all these characters. And he said, this guy's a zombie. He says, where's the zombie? And the zombie just looked there. Come on, what are you? What's happening to you? You can't even hold your cane up. This zombie, you really are a zombie. Here's a zombie. Give him his cane. And tried to give him a cane, and cane just fell. He's a zombie. Right? Looked over the shoulder, looked at her husband, and went, ah! Because he died right there.
Oh, are you serious?
He told me that story. I said, so what did you do? You keep telling jokes. Let's wait for you to come back to life and see if he's going to be a real zombie. No, but he just said, ladies and gentlemen, we have a medical emergency here, so I'll have to stop the show. But I never had nothing like that happening. But I did get norovirus, because that could go around the ships.
Ooh.
Norovirus is a stomach virus.
Okay.
So where, if anybody's eating dinner, you might want to put your food down, because if you have norovirus, stuff is flying out of both ends. Just and I had that one time. So I would just do the show, go back to the room, and hopefully, that's one of you trust. So one of those deals, I was like, I hope it don't happen while I'm on the stage. Hope it don't happen while I'm on the stage. Okay, so later. I'm not selling no CDs after the show. I ain't shaking no hands. I'm going back to my room. And and then there's times where people will just one jump off the boat one time.
No.
We were pulling out. And if anybody's ever taken a cruise, whatever you do not jump off the boat and try to swim. And if you do, this is what happens when the boat is moving at a good clip. There's a wake where the boat's creating this current that's going past the boat. It's called the wake. And first of all, that can knock you back into the ship. If your head hits the side of the ship, it's going to knock you out. And first of all, depending on how far you jump, you probably get knocked out from hitting the water, because these ships are very tall. It's 10, 12, 13, 14 stories. And if you don't, you got to swim as fast as you can to clear that wake, because if you don't, you'll get sucked back into the propellers. But anyway, this dude was on the back of the boat. Real, lack of a better term, serious redneck. This was in Florida, serious redneck. And I heard him talking, well, I'll do it, sure, I will do it. He was standing on the rail, on the top deck, I will do it. And like, I bet you won't do it. I bet you $100, you give me $100, I'll jump off this boat. I said, man, dude ain't gonna jump off the boat. Boom. He went head first. But you know what? He didn't get knocked out. He swam to the dock. We were just pulling out. Luckily, we were just pulling out. He swam back to the dock. And there's no way to climb up. We just have these big tires that the ship goes against. So he couldn't get up there. They had to send a pilot boat out to get him. Bring him back on the ship. And he had to go see the captain. You do something like, you got to see the captain. So he went, I said, I got to follow. I got to see what's going on, So I went up there, and the wife was like, I'm sorry we did it. I'm sorry we did it. I told him not to jump, but they said they give him $100. Here's the $100, Captain. Here's $100. I'll give it to you. Here's the $100. I told him he's stupid. He should not jump. So the captain talked to him, and they didn't kick him off. They kept him on for the rest of the cruise. But yeah, that was
he was lucky. Jeez. He was very lucky.
But there,
very lucky.
Yeah.
Oh,
but there's always some kind of weird stuff going on, and then there's people that walk around like don't bring any luggage. They have their pajamas on like the whole cruise. I don't need to bring that. I'll just buy another T-shirt here if I need it.
Oh. Oh, that sounds crazy. That sounds crazy.
Mm.
Oh Lord. So how has, I've asked all the other entertainers that have come on, how has the pandemic affected your career? And how have you been since the lockdown? So you tell jokes, you're an entertainer. I know it's got to be miserable to just be in the house and not be able to perform.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I'm like, there's a little video of Bruce Lee, the karate expert and movie star, talking about how to be flexible in life. And I kind of live by that little video he talked about. He says, be water, my friend. I'm like water. Make your life, you go with the flow. If you put me in the cup, I'm a cup. You put me on a plate, I'm a plate. You put me in a bowl, I'm a bowl. Be water, my friend. So whatever your situation, you enjoy that. It's like there's a book called The Power of Now by this guy named Eckhart Tolle. How he talks about, like there's a statement that goes, the past is behind us, and the future is in front of us. All we have here is the present. That's why it's a gift.
Yeah.
To paraphrase that. So that thing is like wherever you are. The Power of Now says wherever you are, you enjoy where you are. So lockdown, I'm cool. This is where I'm at, so I'm good here. And I was always kind of like that. I could be in a room for weekends at a time, even when I was a kid. But then I like to be outside too. If I was outside, then that was fun. I'd be with my friends, that's fun. But I could be in my house, in my room, and it's cool. So being in the house, it's no big deal. But the work, you can forget. The ships are not sailing. So there was all my comedy gigs were gone because I didn't do so many comedy clubs anymore. I was just basically doing ships and a few private shows. But there was no live shows anymore. Some states, though. Maybe I think Georgia might have clubs where you can.
Everything is open in Georgia. It's ridiculous.
California is done. And there's some spots on the road you can do. But I was doing so many. But then you got to get on a plane. Do you trust getting on a plane and get off?
Yeah.
And then the comedy clubs, if they have it available, maybe because they got every other comic trying to get on there now because their state might be locked down. And I'm out of the groove of doing some of those comedy clubs because I was doing so many shifts. So they're probably not going to be in line to get me first. And I'm not so much wanting to get out there until some of this stuff, till we get a handle on what's going on. So there's no work with that. And then the TV production is limited. They even tell them to shut it down here in LA. So, I mean, okay, can't throw my hat back in the ring for that. So it's kind of like, thank God for having, a little bit of a different stream of income. Because if it wasn't for the rental, there wouldn't be no money coming in.
Oh, my
unemployment.
Well, I know Georgia, everything is open. I mean, our cases are growing here too. But Tyler Perry and all those guys, from what I heard, they were filming. So you should come to Atlanta, see what's going on.
Yeah, they gotta come out there and say, "Yo, hook me up, Tyler."
Hook me up, right?
Open. He says, "Yeah, if you drop, too bad. Just sign this clause saying if you die of coronavirus, we don't have to pay you."
I really wonder what the clause is saying exactly. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's tough as far as work, definitely. But luckily, they have a thing where if unemployment can go for gig workers or self-employed. Before it wasn't self-employed because even only recently got a few people to rent my place. It was empty for a while because the last tenants had moved out, and as soon as they moved out, the pandemic hit. So it was like no income. It's like savings. That's why you got to save for a rainy day. And people say you should have, 6 to 8 months emergency fund. And I always live by that. There's a whole lot of different financial gurus you can listen to. And one of them was I used to listen to for years is Susie Orman. And she always that. Yeah. And so that's one thing I did. At least I had some savings there. And then they had you can get some unemployment if you're self-employed. So some of that was able to kick in. It took a while, it took months to get it because so many people were flooding the internet and the phones and all that. But it came through. So kudos to the United States of America for doing that. As much as people complain about this place, look, this is not a bad place to live. U.S. we got it going on. You can go from rags to riches here in the United States. Some places you go that you don't have that opportunity. No matter how rough it can be, there is that opportunity. And you be resources. If we come together and get with the people that are good to you and you be good to them, that's why I don't care so much about the fame thing. But right now, I'm gonna go for a little more of it because if I could get that, I could hook other people up. I don't need it for myself, but for other people, I can make a Let show. It's already worldwide. I'll make it universal throughout the galaxy and the rest of the universe. I can help and promote it because I'm more of a helper. A person that, I got to get it all myself and I got to have the big car because you can't take that stuff with you.
No, you can't.
You're just going to leave it with you regardless. How many cars do you need? How many are you going to drive?
Right. It's all about
celebrities in front of 10, 15 cars. You get these unappreciating assets. You can't drive it one car at a time. You paying a Ferrari, paying all this insurance and all that stuff. When you're going to drive it twice a year, why don't you just rent it?
Yeah.
Give that money to some charity or something. Put some people through college at North Carolina Central University.
Hey, yours, I believe, went to your alma mater. So, I mean, everything that you're saying is right on point. You got to save. And so who knew that this was going to happen, this pandemic? Yeah. But I will tell you, in 19 days, I believe it's all going to change. It's going to get better. I believe that. I really do.
Why 19?
In 19 days? You don't know what happens in 19 days?
No, that's the 20th?
Yeah, June 20th, yes.
The world's going to end.
Huh?
What, the world's going to end? No.
We have a new leader being sworn in.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I've been inside too long. They got to cut some TV on it. Well, I have a TV behind me. But by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this widescreen TV does not work.
Oh, don't tell everybody that.
It's a non-existent, but I thought it looked cool, so I said I'll use it as a backdrop. No, the thing I got it about 15 years ago, might be 17 years ago, when and people were like, the neighbors like, whoa, look how big your TV is. Now everybody got one of these, but it has a bulb in it. The technology is called DLP.
Okay.
Digital light projection or whatever. A little small bulb that up and it's really cool and it's HD and all that. It's not 4K because it's not modern enough, but it's a real good picture and all that. But the bulb, it's not like those 4 bulbs, those big old, remember those big old things they came out, looked like, you could put like coffins, you can bury your grandparents in there or something. Now we don't need to go to the funeral home. We just bury them inside this TV, save some money. Them big old boxes, they had those 3 bulbs you had to turn. No, it's not one of those. This is a small little thing. But they said it's only good for like 20,000 hours or X amount of hours, and then it burns out. You just get another bulb. That's it. And the bulbs are supposed to be about $250 or whatever. But Panasonic is not United States anymore. It's just Japan. So I'm on the internet trying to find how to get this bulb, trying to contact them, call them, can't get them. After a while, I said, man, I'm tired of this. I got different things to do. And so I just been too busy, and I just haven't gotten other bulbs. So I'm going to get another TV at some point anyway. But then the zombie apocalypse come up, so I'm not going to be around the showroom looking at TV while people spraying virus all over the place. So I said, look, I'm just going to look at my laptop and look at my iPad for any TV or something.
Oh, wow.
That'll be my thing. But so, yeah, but they sworn in. Okay, sworn in then. So,
yep.
Yeah, but, he might be sworn in, but the virus ain't going to be sworn off.
I know.
But if we they say it might take years to reach herd immunity, but if enough vaccines are available, which they should be, maybe by the summer, things could be pretty cool.
That's if everybody takes it. Everybody's not willing to take it.
Yeah, that's another thing. People are not taking it, so that's another dilemma. So we might have to go through another year of ups and downs. It wouldn't be so bad. The media just exaggerates everything. It's a body count. Every time you cut the TV on, the body count. People die anyway. People die of a car accident. We could save 32,000 lives every year if everybody drove 5 miles an hour. 32,000 people die every year like clockwork.
Wow.
From car accidents. 5 miles an hour, you're not going to die. Or don't drive at all. But somehow we accept a certain amount of taking our chances for our convenience. So, we do it. Why can't we? Everybody, no driving, except for trucks and emergency vehicles or the cops, fire department. But we're taking, every time you get in the car, your chance of getting a car accident much more than getting the corona. But
oh wow,
so
so
just like there's about 300 people that die a year drowning, but you don't get the body count,
yeah,
or 600 or something like that. Could be a couple of people a day. But they don't say, oh, another day somebody drowned. Okay, this day these people drowned. And it's a body count every day, so it's freaking us out, making us paranoid. I ain't gonna lie, I had definitely nightmares or bad dreams for the first several months. I'm trying not to, but obviously it's in my subconscious. It's like, you dream about some stuff that you're gonna get the Rona. You're in the grocery store, and how come nobody's in there but me? And you get your mask, but you can't go home. You're in the dream, so all of a sudden, my legs won't move. I can't go get my mask. I can't get a mask. The cops come arrest you because you don't have a mask. No, I just forgot my mask. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Where is my mask? Put the mask on to go to sleep. Maybe this will be in my dream.
Oh my God. So what's it like working with Eddie Murphy? Tell us about that.
Yeah, Eddie was cool. Eddie was I was only in a couple of scenes because people act like, oh, you're in a movie with him, so you're hanging out. No, he was just in a couple of scenes. I played this CO, this corrections officer at this at a prison.
Okay.
And it was called Metro, the name of the movie. And
yeah.
Eddie Murphy played the hostage negotiator. And it was one scene where he had to talk to the guy through the glass, the cop killer. He had to talk to him through the little thick glass. And they were arguing about something. He showed the guy a picture. See this picture? And the guy, the character that was opposite of him, yes, I see the picture. Well, you know who this is? Yes, I know who this is. Well, you know whose hands are on this face? No, that's the coroner, because your brother, and he's dead. And he's like, and the guy's, what? My brother? You should me a picture? And they start arguing, screaming. And I got to grab hand. First of all, I unhandcuffed him to talk to Eddie. And then when he argues, I have to grab him and pull him away. The only part they kept in was my hands handcuffing the guy. These are famous hands, baby. Oh. Maybe I'm in a director's cut with a few lines or something. But Eddie, after the scenes, it was in that scene and another scene. But Eddie goes back in the trailer and he's working on his lines and everything. So it's not like we kicking it. And, it wasn't like I had a big enough part so we can actually kick it and do it and hang out or something. So he would do his scene. He'd be back in his trailer. I'd be back over here. And then, so we only spoke a couple of times and joked a little bit on set.
Oh, wow.
That was that. But it was cool to do, that little movie. I should have pursued some of that stuff more. But I guess it's not too late. Maybe I can do more of that before I'm 100.
Well, at least you had the opportunity to be in the same space. That's awesome.
Yeah. It was a good experience. Those movies are a lot of fun. And they have good. If you ever get on the film set, very good food. They have these gourmet chefs. And they're called the Honey Wagon. And they make some serious food, man. You're fed very well. Wow. And it's funny because they shut down the restaurants. And at first you could eat outside at a certain point in California. And they says, no, you can't eat outside anymore. They just, of course, the governor goes to restaurants. He gets busted at a restaurant called the French Laundry. And this is one of the most expensive restaurants in the world. I mean, we're talking about starting at $350 a plate. And it ain't like you could choose from a menu. It's a taste menu. So they give you taste of food that you could just taste. And that's outside for $350. Inside down there, $850 a plate, 2-person minimum. Ooh. And we ain't talking about tip and wine, which could be thousands.
Wow.
And there's one caviar room or whatever, it's $1,500 a plate per person. And it's like 3 or 4 per person minimum. And I think his tab, somebody said the governor's tab was like $15,000 or something for that party that was there for that. So, but anyway, he says you can't eat outside. But then the movie sets could have that Honey Wagon where people were eating outside there. So some of the restaurants were complaining. They said, oh, how these people get to eat? At the movie, if you do a movie, you can eat outside. But here, I'm making a living, and I can't, people can't eat outside, so I have to close up my business. So they got to.
Yeah, I can see that. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. What do you see yourself doing after the pandemic? What's what's in store for you in the future?
Yeah, well, in the meantime, I'll probably do some more of these Let's shows, if you
Yeah.
like, and I'll probably start my own little YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel, but the videos on there are I think when Obama was in office, I put the video up. This little kid comes by on a bicycle saying, "Hey, Jerome, hey man, when you gonna put some new videos on your YouTube and your website?" I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." All right, I know it's got old stuff. I'm wearing baggy jeans, so I'm going to beef that up, and I'm going to get an ongoing thing similar to this podcast, to YouTube stuff, and get that going.
Okay.
And keep that as an ongoing thing. But when the pandemic's over, I'll go back to the ships and some of the clubs and select clubs and some country clubs, private gigs, and then and explore some more of the TV, movie stuff. And I'll get on that. I'll hit it pretty hard because these next few years is like my neighbor always says, because he's a music producer, Lincoln Kilpatrick Jr. Look up his father. Lincoln Kilpatrick was a very famous actor. He used to act back in the Sidney Poitier days. Back with Sidney Poitier and Harry Belafonte and those guys and Bill Cosby and all. He was in What's Up Saturday Night and Hoodlum. And he was in the Omega Man back in the 70s.
Wow. Okay.
They did a remake of that called I Am Legend with
Will Smith.
Will Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He was in another TV show called Matt Houston. He was the series of that in the 70s, and he was the what was he? I think he was the DA or one of the main guys in the police precinct.
Mm-hmm.
But they would know him. But his son is a music producer, very talented music producer. But so he would always say, "Hey man, this is the fourth quarter of our career, man. The game ain't over, but it's the fourth quarter. It ain't. We're in our 20s. That's the first half. So maybe 30s, whatever. We're not there. It's now it's the it's the fourth quarter." So I said, "That's a good statement, man. I'll use that statement." Mm-hmm. So it's the fourth quarter now. So I'm kind of going to get on it to make things go more forward, so I can help folks out. I'm pretty cool where I'm at and good. It's not like I'm going to be in the poor farm. Knock on wood, but
I mean, you're funny. There's a lot of comedians and actors like Samuel Jackson. He got his start pretty late, so still, I think that the future looks bright for everybody.
Yeah, because
we got a better leader. So there's going to be opportunities.
Yeah, it's already been bright, so I don't need the fame. Like I've done well, and I'll still do well. Bill paid, invested, and stuff like that. I've invested, but just to get some other stuff more popularized. Then, like I said before, I could do the hookups, and I would, I can kick back behind the scenes and let the other folks handle stuff. And because, like I said, you can't take it with you. In life, ain't nothing but a relay race.
That's it.
And the baton to the next racer. Stick, bam.
That's it.
You move forward. Because you ain't gonna be here forever.
That's
so when your race is over, you give it to that next person. You
help somebody else. Yeah.
You get bored and I need it all myself, and I need to have $50 million in this. You're just gonna give it away when you die anyway.
Exactly. Take it. Just help other people out. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So like do that along the way.
Well, before you go, everybody's commenting. Somebody's saying they miss cruising. Thanks for the funny cruise ship stories. Somebody else is saying, Diana's saying perseverance, hard work, determination. People are just going on about, definitely hanging in there. So before you leave us, please give us your all-time funny story, anything that's happened to you that's crazy, bizarre, that you could think of. And you guys feel free to ask him questions. I will make sure to relay them to him.
Ask a question.
Anybody got a question out there for him? Just come on in and ask. I see all kind of stuff going on here. Let me just scroll through real quick.
What about crazy stuff? You don't hear about, I think Al Qaeda is on lockdown. You don't hear no suicide bombers no more.
All right.
They must all have the Rona. You don't hear none of that stuff.
No,
even the airport. Remember the dude? They had the underwear bomber. What happened? Where is he at? And, it kills me because
dude came
on and he had bombs in his underwear, right? and from then on, I thought we were gonna have to wear our underwears outside our pants. But you figure, what do they tell these suicide bombers to get to make them want to kill themselves, to do a suicide mission like this? But one of the things they tell them, it says this, if you do the suicide mission, what will happen? You will die, and you go to heaven, and there'll be 72 virgins up there waiting just to marry you, and they'll bear all your children. There's 72 virgins waiting to marry you, and they'll bear all your children. Well, first of all, the dude's got to be a complete idiot. He had the bombs in his underwear.
So how you go ahead?
So you're going to get to heaven and realize there's 73 virgins up there. Him and the other 72 dudes that thought there was going to be some girls waiting for him. So that's insanity. But now you don't hear about that because the news is all about the body count.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So somebody asked, they said, how do you get leads on jobs in terms of, being an entertainer and doing comedy stand-up?
A lot of comics get jobs from other comics. A comic could do something, and then we'll let our other friends know.
Oh, okay.
There are a certain amount of comics that are very helpful like that, and there are a certain amount that don't want to help, that don't want to do anything, or figure I'm too famous to do anything. But a lot of comics will tell you about a gig. Or if you have an agent will get you stuff. I don't have an agent for my comedy gigs because I get those either through other comics or if you work at a club, then more than likely you can work at that club again. And then you can see what other clubs are in town. And there have been different on the web. You can find where the clubs are, and you can send them the links to your stuff so they can see what you do, and you can get work that way. And or I have an agent for ships, so he gets me on the ships.
Okay.
He'll say, "Oh, we have this gig for you, that gig for you." And the Carnival gig has been ongoing, so they book me on an ongoing basis.
Okay.
So different venues you can do. So, but if you have somebody else working for you, that's the easiest way. But once you kind of get out there, you'll start getting other stuff for you, and you could send. Back in the day, you used to send a package of your video and your 8x10 picture and all that. It's gotten a little easier now because all you have to do is send them a link.
Okay.
So send it to your website or even your Facebook. They can see your pictures and they can see your club and they can see a little clips of you doing your act, and so you can get work that way. So it's not impossible. It's actually easier now, and there's a lot of comedy clubs to play. Even though the biggest boom was like in the '90s, I was starting when there were folks making anywhere, $2,000 to $5,000 a week at just the local clubs.
Wow.
Besides one-nighters and besides TV and all that, so you could do very well. Even today, you could retire. You can actually retire if you work enough.
Mm-hmm.
You can retire a millionaire and be unknown. But you have to steadily work. That's the thing about entertainment. If you don't work, then you don't eat.
You don't eat.
If you spend it a lot, you can forget it. But if you steadily get gigs, of course, with Corona, it's tough.
Yeah.
But you have to stay working. You can have one week that's very, very good, and then another week that's not so hot. And
just off. Yeah.
You gotta keep that going. And the clubs pay a little less than they did years ago because they're not as well attended as when it was the comedy boom. The comedy boom was in the '90s when comedy clubs had sprung up all over the place.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yeah.
But now there's got YouTube. There's YouTube people that and the internet people like yourself that you build a following, and the following sees you and they're loyal, and you can get advertisement and all that kind of stuff. So they're YouTubers that do very, very well.
Oh yeah.
Gamers. There was this guy. I was playing this video game and I was stuck right here. I said, let me go on the internet. See somebody playing this, get past this little area I can't get past. And there was this guy, I'm forgetting his name now. The something Ray or something. And he had all these videos. And I know he had like hundreds of videos and all these hits on his videos. And all he did was play video games and have a little and narrate, do them. They were called walkthroughs. And he was getting millions of hits and all that. And I said, let me see I asked some other people about him. Asked my friend, I said, have you heard of this guy? And my friend says, no, I haven't heard of him, but my daughter heard of him because she plays video games. I was like, okay, this guy, and I looked it up, and this guy makes millions. And he just plays video games and comments on them. And granted, it's pretty funny the comments he makes and stuff. But yeah, people are, if you find your niche, you can do very well. Just be right at home. Set up your own home studio.
That's it. That's
Mhm.
it. So let's see here. So somebody just said, "Who observes the upcharge fees on travel? Is it part of your pay?" Oh wow, you do you know that?
Who pays for the travel?
I think so. Who observes the upcharge fee on travel as a part of your pay? Yeah, yeah. So I guess when they fly you in, I think you said earlier
Oh yeah, like when the ships fly you around, they pay for all of it. They pay
okay,
you from the time you leave your house to the time you get home.
that's awesome.
Clubs, the comedy clubs, sometimes they can pay your travel, sometimes they don't. But sometimes it won't. The ones that don't pay your travel pay you more than
Oh,
the ones that did pay your travel. So it all has to even out to where you're comfortable.
okay,
And if one's going to pay you X amount, but they take your flight, and the other guy pays you double, but they don't get a flight, you might say, well, I'm getting more this way, even if I pay a couple of $100 for a flight.
mm-hmm.
So, and then you try to book other gigs around it. So if I got out there and do that gig, then you book the other gigs while you're there in town. If I was coming out there in Atlanta, you can work the comedy club in Atlanta, but then there's one nighters you could do.
Okay,
The comedy club might only be from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday maybe. So those other days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for that week, so let me book some one nighters. And then you can book another club nearby. You try to do as much in that region as you can to make the bang for your buck, whatever that travel is, whether they're paying it up and back or you're paying for the travel. And then a lot of times, if you're traveling with a comic and doing a tour, then you can travel with them and you can split any driving costs or rent a car costs. So it all depends. I was in one club, Spellbinders in Houston. They're not open anymore, but they would give you a car. They'd give you a car to the comics
mm-hmm.
they have for that week, so you didn't have to rent a car.
Oh, okay,
Don't necessarily do that.
okay,
So the bottom line is you just keep the gigs going,
mm-hmm.
and it's all money in the pot. Some gigs pay a lot, some don't pay much, but you got to steadily work.
That's it.
And do something else. And if the gigs are not there, then if you got some other gigs, some other stream of income, some investments or some kind of day job you could do, then do that. Or if you work from home, you can work from anywhere. So if you're a comedian, maybe during the day you can do what you were doing from home, make money there, and then at night you do your comedy show. I remember when I first started, they used to have a lot of these temp agencies around. I forget one of them was called Kelly. It used to be called Kelly Girls, and they just went to Kelly Services because there was a lot of different secretarial stuff, but then there's light industrial stuff and different jobs they need temporarily. So I would do the comedy gig. I would go to comedy gigs and look up these temp places and do a temp job in the daytime, whether it's clerical or whether it's lifting, loading boxes somewhere. And then that night I do my comedy show so I can get paid
Mm.
twice.
Mm-hmm. That's smart.
That's your time. So
Mm-hmm.
you try to put it all together because you never know when the next pandemic is going to hit.
Right,
Steadily.
right.
And keep your overhead low. I've always kept my overhead low.
That's
And
smart.
never lived beyond my means. I'm not going to buy a big gigantic house that I can barely afford with 50 rooms that you have to furnish and you'll never be in them.
Yeah, that's
House
crazy.
so big that you don't even know there's people living on the west wing or something. Like
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock, she had somebody was in her house and she didn't even know it. I think they were in the house for a day or two.
Are you serious?
She
Oh
didn't
my
even know
God.
it. I mean, the house is so big.
Terrible. Whew.
Do you need all that? Unless you're going to have a whole lot of company of other people living in it. So,
Yeah. Oh wow.
and you have to look at it like, hey, what would I do if I didn't have this job for a year?
Mm-hmm.
What's plan B and plan C? So,
Yep.
and it's out there.
Well,
And
I appreciate you, Jerome, for coming on. Let's talk. The audience,
right.
they're just flooding it with questions, more questions. So what I will do is I will get these questions to you, and then you can get the answers to me, or go on my page, or vice versa. But they love you. I appreciate
Good.
you
Well,
coming
I
on.
love them too.
Anytime.
I love
Come
you guys
back.
too.
Huh? Oh yeah. Make sure you
Yeah,
come
everybody, have yourself a merry little Christmas. May your heart be light.
back.
From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Uh, Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days hands of yours. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Boom. Take that with you.
You can sing. You got some pipes on you.
Oh, yeah, I try to do a little bit. Maybe I'll jump on the adult contemporary circuit. Try to make a little cash doing that.
Well, like I said earlier, you're welcome here anytime. We appreciate you coming on Let's Talk. And you stay safe out there in LA. Wear your mask, wash your hands, all that good
All
stuff.
right. And you, yeah. We got to do our thing.
Yes. Yes, sir.
I'm welcome to come back anytime. It's fun.
Yes. Absolutely.
And now I wobble back and go, save your money. I'll go back. I've got no more money. I've run out of savings. And one of my tenants in my rental property is suing me. I'll be fat broke in the next month. You won't see that side of me. I'll lose everything.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is all good. I think 2021 is going to be the year for everybody.
Yeah, that'll be good. We all will prosper.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And be wartime, my friend.
Will you take care and come back anytime?
All right, definitely.
All right.
Live long and prosper. Ooh, that's good. Live long and prosper. Like
I can't do that. Okay, you got it. Okay, see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. As you just saw, that was Mr. Jerome, the comedian, entertainer, and comedian. He's good. He's got some Michael Jackson impressions that he does. So you guys got to take a look at that. So he was good. Thank you so much for coming on and being part of Let's Talk, Jerome. Appreciate you. So as we close out the show, I want to leave you guys with a positive thought. So as we made it through 2020, we're in 2021. Whether you lost a job or you lost a loved one or you went through a divorce or you had to downsize your house to an apartment, whatever the situation may be, just think about this. Be proud of how far you've come, even if it's not where you thought you would be, right? Just be proud that you made it through 2020. Not everybody made it to 2021. So just be grateful for what you have. I am a firm believer that 2021 is going to be a better year, in 19 days especially. And so just keep your head up, continue to wash your hands, wear your mask, and just be kind to somebody and pay it forward. Do something nice to somebody else. So with that, I appreciate you guys always checking in. You can always, as I tell you guys every week, to find out more about my books or about the podcast, my bio, all that stuff is right there on the website at detailproduct.net. So as I tell you guys every week, I appreciate you so much for tuning in to Let's Talk. I look forward to seeing you guys next week, and stay safe. Have a fun weekend and be good to somebody. Okay. And with that, I'm out.